Starting off with blade forward, so I'm really happy about that. Usually they hold it to the side. We ignite the sexiest lightsaber of life. And we start rough. Alright, we're gonna check out that first sequence. One thing I'd like to point out is that the grip that he's using right here with his finger on the side of the hilt is a technique that a lot of really good fencers do with French grips and fencing. It helps with tip precision. Not everybody uses it, but it's not super weird. Like when I first saw it, I had to see like, do people do that? And I remember a whole bunch of people that I highly respect using this, even though it's kind of unorthodox, but is totally focused on tip precision and strength. But Dooku doesn't really use the tip that often, except for one little part in this scene, but that's fine. All right, so here we are. Let's see how this goes. Running up to your opponent, spinning your weapon is dumb. First parry coming off Dooku is a weird one. He puts himself in a weak position for his wrist. You see, if I can pull it up here, right there. Like, why would you purposely put yourself like this? It's not ideal. It's hard to follow up. You have to turn here. There's nowhere going like that doesn't work. You have to go here. It's very obvious, and it's just many more options available to you there. He has to go for the wide swing because he was up here. There's nowhere to go. Obi-Wan spinning for his cardinal sin. While he was spinning, if Dooku had not used that initial parry and then the wide, he could have maybe followed up with an action like a fencer during that spin because they're super close. So if his blade isn't taken care of, he should be able to follow up no problem. And here's the introduction of CGI Dooku. So we got a swing coming in here, low, low. So what it looks like for me here, it doesn't look like they're trying to hit each other. It looks like a dance. They're very much going for the blade. I really like the jump, actually. He jumps and gets into an en garde stance. My only criticism of that is that his en garde stance is with his sword arm to the back of him, and Obi-Wan spins away. In this instance, again, with Obi-Wan spinning, if he had jumped with his sword arm forward, when Obi-Wan spins, he could have followed up with a lunge. A simple fencing lunge with a tip forward would have ended it right there, and then we do some unnecessary spinning. So that's that part. I'd also like to point out that I don't mind too much of this, the cuts happening here, because they're in a decent distance for it. But the thing is, if you were to have a weapon that could insta-kill on touch, you wouldn't ever want to get that close. You'd play more of a distance game because it's so dangerous to be that close. Just the littlest change of angle can change the whole fight here. So as cool as it looks, and it actually seems to be well done, it's super dangerous to be in this position with these kinds of weapons. All right, we're back. I'm glad that his blade is facing forward. Oh, there's so much going on there. Okay, look at that small part. Okay, so I just rewatched this before reviewing this part, and there's a lot going on here. So let's start with, he goes in, he goes for a slash, Dooku goes for a slash, which makes Obi-Wan turn parry it, but then he turns with it rather than staying facing his opponent. But Dooku turns as well, so they're both equally stupid. And then we're facing each other again. They have blades in contact here. Let's see it come up. We're here. All right, so they're both in their strong, so they're both feeling comfortable here. Obi-Wan opts for a push, pushing Dooku out of the way. It looks like Dooku spins, and Obi-Wan spins as well here. And then we end up at the stupid back block of hell, the cardinal sin above cardinal sins. The thing about Obi-Wan pushing and then spinning makes no sense. You're trying to give yourself an opening, so you push your opponent's blade out of the way, and then you should follow up directly. The thing about sword play and lightsaber play, I would say, is that you want to take the most direct line to your opponent, therefore giving you a better chance of getting the hit. The spins and the options that they take in the movies is like taking the longest path possible. They take the longest path possible. For me to push and then opt to spin around to do my damage, it makes absolutely no sense. Go directly for your opponent. And that's why it seems like in these movies that it doesn't look like they're actually trying to hit each other. it looks really cool and it's really nicely done, but nobody really looks like they're in danger. And that's why, because they're taking the stupidest routes. And now here we're at the back block, which you know my opinion on that from the last video. They bring it around town, and then we go to the bottom. SpongeBob, I hear you. We're here. I don't know how feasible it is to bring that from your back all the way there. If you're gonna back block, if you end up in that position, I'd literally retreat and reposition. I wouldn't want to play this game with lightsabers this close to my body. And then from the floor, they decide to both spin rather than change the angle of the blade and trying to hit each other. So we have stupid spin, parkour, and that's where we end up. The result, it's a short sequence, but a lot of stupid things happen in it. Okay, resuming from where we were, it looks like we have a baseball bat swing coming from Dooku, and Obi-Wan's getting ready for it. All right. Spin of death. We're holding this blade in contact, and this is one of the cooler things that makes sense in Star Wars. Dooku uses a stab, and then stabs again. Oh my god. It's like thrusts actually work with these weapons when you don't pull back. And then we have this moment, which we'll stop here. Okay, going over this. Swing, swing. Okay, so he's in this strong. He lets go right here. He just opted to switch and go for a swing. When he let go, when he let go up top, right. When we're here, you have the blade and you let go. As he's letting go, they switch. Obi-Wan could have just love tapped his arm there. As he lets go, if Obi-Wan brings down the blade, he has arm meat. All that arm meat right there. So that's neither here nor there. They decide to bring the blades all the way down, fighting, and then they spin. We're making blade contact. And yeah, here's the cool part. Oh, Anakin, get out of the way, man. This is why you don't hold blade binds for too long, because one person will do something smart, such as change the angle and goes right for the stab. Hardly anybody does this in the movies, using angles to actually pierce through, when it'd be highly useful in those blade binding situations. And then the only time that spinning your weapon is valid, because like he thinks he's good, and then we get to this part. So I want to make this very clear. Right now, Dooku's blade is on top of Anakin's blade. What does that mean? He's in the power position. What can he do? Oh, just let Anakin do this then instead. Get scared, apparently, is what you can do. And then we have this abomination. Oh my god. Alright. We'll stop here before we go into the dancing part. Alright, so like I said, Dooku's lightsaber is on top of Anakin's. What does that mean? He's in a power position right now, and he could literally just take his blade and slice him. He's right beside him. He has the power right now. Anakin can't go anywhere. He can't go up to cut him. He can't do anything. So Dooku has the ability to just end it right now if he were to just take one arm and boom, right to the side. Ooh. But no, we instead get afraid of words that come out of their mouth. Ooh, scary boy. We go here. All right, we wait for the shuck to happen. All right, let's get to the part where, yeah, he gets scared. And then we enter the dual wielding portion. This is tough because we go here, we're spinning, he just blocks whatever comes in. The fact is that he's playing along with this. If he were to act more like a fencer in this instance where he was tipped forward and he was deflecting, he could probably find an entry or a timing to hit the arms, because they're not really complicated. He's telegraphing the whole thing as he's going. His arms are spinning super wide and turning. I fought someone recently who knew how to use two weapons at once, and if they were to do this type of thing, it would be much easier than the techniques they were using. This is just dumb. This was complacent. And yeah, so he gets one of the weapons here. You don't see how it's done, and then we're super close. We don't get to see reference. Um, Dooku's acting cocky. Well, his opponent's walking away, so I'll give him that, and we'll end up where we were. All right, let's go. Oh, and then we get this. This is really cool, actually. I like this part. There's something wrong with it, but I like it in theory. I hate that we get this close for all this time. It's so fucking useless. Yeah, fake suspense. So many spins. And then the ending. Oof. All right, we're going to break that up into maybe 2 parts, but yeah, let's check that out. All right, so here we are. I like that they use high stance. It's a change of pace. Usually it's to the side, but I like that because this is a move. This is something you can do having the high blade here. So as much as I like that they're trying this, because it really feels like a duel in this instance, I don't understand why Anakin uses a side cut like this. Because you see how Dooku went straight down the line and Anakin went by the side? Right here, you can see that Dooku holds back a bit. Like, he doesn't fully execute the strike. By the time that Dooku brings down his blade, he should have hit Anakin before his blade was able to make it. Because his blade took a longer path, like I said before, they're taking stupid paths. That should have been Dooku's. If Anakin were to have sidestepped while using that sideways slash, it would make sense because you're getting your body out of the way and then creating a new angle. But the fact that he took the long route from the back while Dooku went straight down, that should have been Dooku's right off the bat. And then we go here, yeah, well, they made connections, so now they're going to try and parry each other. And then we have the stupid up close thing where fake suspense that I don't care about. Let's go. Come on, around the world, around the world. Okay, and then I don't know why they're spinning here, but they're spinning. In most circumstances, it's dumb for this. And then oh, thanks. We're going back to this. All right. And then we get a cool part here. All right, we're back to this. See, that was more direct. That made more sense. He's going for him. Except there, it doesn't look like he was aiming for anything but the blade. He should have been aiming more for the hand, but like, there was no interference. He could have went for it and they would have forced Dooku to adapt, but nobody looks like they're adapting here because it looks like they're guiding each other. Each one of these cuts looks like I'm aiming for an area for your blade to meet mine rather than I'm going for you and you have to fight me back. It's very low intensity in that way. This is something I want to point out. In this turning action right here, 1 second, we're here, block, he spins, and Dooku's here. Dooku then meets him at the bottom to make the turn make sense, rather than go right for him when his back is to him. So look at this. Boom, he goes and he follows the path. He goes from here and meets him down here, rather going from here right to him. And then we have a spin that's completely ridiculous. We'll meet down at the bottom. It makes sense that Dooku would parry at the bottom here when he's swinging at him. Though he's a little far, he's not really that dangerous with that swing. We have that. I don't know where he was attacking. It was already offline from that image. And then, okay, then we have the dumbest thing ever. Okay, so the reason why this is the dumbest thing ever. They have blade contact. We're good. We understand this. There's a point of tension. What does he do? Without interference, he turns his back to Anakin. When Anakin's blade is forward, it's almost at his face. Anakin still doesn't do anything. Still doesn't do anything. Oh my god, is he turning? You knew he was turning before. Let me open up my arms before you reach me so that you can get this beautiful arm. That doesn't make sense. We're here, right? We're here, right? We're here. We have blade contact. There's tension. My opponent spins his back in front of me. Are you telling me I don't bring down hell? He literally just has to extend his arms or bring down the blade and he's got this. But he decides to stare at his beautiful back, open his arms, and embrace losing a limb. It's one of the dumbest ways to end these fights. Like I don't understand. It's so obviously stupid. Like even at full speed, if I do it at full speed, uh, we're here. Boom, boom. Let's put some music on. Boom. Oh no, man, I don't want the music. Boom, boom. We're here. You can see at full speed that he doesn't do anything. Like I don't understand why they thought that was a cool way to end this fight. That overall, if you're not being overly critical, it looks really good. But like, it's the most stupid way to end it. In the end, this fight has some of the most unique aspects to it in a lot of Star Wars fights. It has a thrust from the bind, and it has that high stance that Anakin and Dooku use when they duel each other. Even though it might not be the best idea to do that with a lightsaber, like I say, I always prefer the lightsabers being forward because just the lightest touch can do you in, but it's kind of undermined by the fact that it looks more like a dance than it does actually look like a fight. It doesn't look like they're actually going for each other. It looks like they're guiding each other for the next strike. Another personal gripe of mine on this fight is the fact that Dooku, who's supposed to be a user of the dueling style and like influenced by fencing and all that type of stuff, doesn't look like a fencer whatsoever. He looks like just a little fancier version of the other Jedi. The curved hilt that he uses has so many applications that you would know if you did fencing with a French grip that he doesn't use at all. If someone were to have guided the actor for Dooku, Christopher Lee, and how to use the different ways of that handle to make it look like more like fencing and make it more tip focused, this duel could have been super hype. But the only thing that looked like a fencer was this part where he takes the blade and he thrusts here. This is the only part that looked like a fencer. Other than that, it just looks like a unique looking ex Jedi. But yeah, so I'm gonna make a video on how to use Dooku's lightsaber properly and the comparison between fencing and Dooku's weapon. That's another video. I didn't want to take too much time of that on this video. That being said, here's a link to the playlist where all these fencing reviews are going to be happening for the Star Wars series, and I hope to see you in the next one.